Hello there dudes, and welcome to a very special one because we may have just seen one of the biggest releases as far as Skul modding is concerned. I need to give a massive shout outs, of course, you can expect to Mr. Bacanudo and Haxa, who have both been working incredibly hard on a new mod release, introducing 18, maybe 20, new items into the game. Yes, custom community-made items. I'm shouting out Mr. Bacanudo and Haxa with links to their channels and everything relevant down in the description below, so be sure to go and check them out. If there are other names that I need to be thanking here that I'm not aware of, I apologize and I will make amends in the future, but these are the two that I am the most aware of course. Mr. Bacanudo, I've been working very hard to get this also released onto the R2 Modman launcher, so if you've been using mods through the R2 Modman launcher, which I recommend that you do, you can find this over there right now and go and install it with a click of a button, exactly the same way that I did. Now, in the past, we have seen custom skulls added, like the Dracula vampire one. There's also this very early version of a Plague Doctor, Witch Doctor type of character who is incredibly incomplete. As you can see, he does have buttons that he can use, but these are all basically borrowed assets from within the game's files that have been data mined, dug up, and repurposed and put back into the game so that we have a way of appreciating what may never be properly released for the game itself, just some assets that have been thrown to the side, which makes this very cool because these new items are completely new and made by the community. Now, I am also very eager to take these out onto a run, as I'm sure you guys are eager to see, but I am going to take a few minutes and just take a read through some of these items and see what they are and what they do before doing that, because I'd like to see what they've been working on. I'd like to properly appreciate these, and first and foremost, we have Carleon's Flag. Common item increases physical and magical by 15% for each Carleon item you own. Has spoils and heritage. How is this not already an item? That's just such a fantastic little idea. It's like the Carleon insignia that increases money, but this one encourages you to keep stacking your Carleon items for a damage increase. You could have like a little Carleon soldier build out of this, and because all the items are common, you'd get a lot of money out of it, a lot of damage out of it. I love it, dude. That's a fantastic idea. Does it stack with itself? It does stack with it. Hey, I'm just saying. We may have discovered a new really dumb powerful 90 item build. Oh my god. Next up, flicking through, we have the Bone Wing. I love this, by the way. Massive shout outs. I know Haxa himself has been doing a lot of work on the custom sprites and designs, like the actual sprite work for the items. I don't know how much of it was Mr. Bacanudo and how much of it was Haxa like sharing this burden. If Haxa is responsible for all of these fantastic pixel art images, massive thank you, dude. This is incredible. These all look fantastic, and I can't imagine how long it's taken to throw all these together. The Bone Wing grants 1 extra jump and decreases gravity by 50%. Gargoyle reduces falling speed while attacking or using skills, specifically making Gargoyle's functionality work better. I love it. I absolutely love it. Increases physical and magic by 25 in the air. And it's a common item, so it's not hard to find. Has bone and saw. Perfect choices. Oh. I'm floating, dude. It's given me the moon jumps. Wait, does this affect how it doesn't stack, does it? Like if I took a couple of these, 2, 3, 4, it stacks. It stacks. Wait. I'm so silly. Oh no! Uh-oh. I'm reaching like negative gravity. Dude. I'm flying. Oh, this is sick. This is, dude. Next new item after our Bone Wing. Is this a knuckle duster? It's spiked brass knuckles. Increases critical damage by 10% and crit rate by 5%. I like it, dude. It's a nice, simple item. It does what it needs to do. We don't have a lot of common and low quality crit-based items in the game. In fact, I think the bow, the common Carleon bow, might be the only and best one that really like focuses on crit. So this is a much needed and very appreciated addition, and also an easy way to get Misfortune early in your runs. Misfortune is the crit inscription, and we don't see enough of it on lower tier items. And crit damage increase is also pretty rare for items this low. The 5% crit rate makes sense, but the crit damage is pretty nice. No such thing as a fair fight, only a fight you win. Reminds me, I didn't see what the flavor text was on the banner. The symbol of Carlian's people brought strength during times of need. I love this. They're also doing such a great job keeping the flavor of the items as well. What's next? What's coming up next? We have the Ornamental Axe. Increase physical attack by 20%. It's a masterpiece item? Ooh. Ooh, transforming item. 20% physical attack. I like it. It's simple. It's not as strong as the Kalayan sword, which, you know... Oh, I wonder why. Probably because it transforms and it has execute on it. I can see the balancing they've done. The Kalayan sword has 10% more physical damage on it, but it doesn't have inscriptions that are as good as execute and masterpiece, so they've made it a little bit weaker to start with. Oh, so this just stays the same. A weapon reforged by the fire of its warrior's soul. Okay, either I've done something wrong and there's a bug happening here, or the intention is that this weapon doesn't transform and get a new effect, but rather helps you to enable masterpiece and execute by having a common, lower quality item apply this for you. I think that might be the case. Just to confirm, I've gone ahead and grabbed some other masterpiece items that do transform, and this does seem to be the case. It looks like the battle axe is designed to be kind of like a placeholder item that helps you achieve masterpiece, where you probably want to get rid of it after you've reached your transformation for your other items. It's just like a nice little extra thing that you can have to help you get that transformation effect to activate. Alright, it looks like that's all for the common items. Moving up into the rares. Oh, this looks delightful. The Amulet of Duality. Increase physical and magical by 40% with courage and wisdom on it. You can't do that, dude. This is so good. That's so good. That's top tier. This is a top tier rare. You'll keep this in every build. This is amazing. With a taste for knowledge, undecided warrior Haxa could never succumb to pure brutality. I love it. It's a reference to the fact that Haxa loves hybrid builds. It's just it's a long-running thing that Haxa really... This is definitely his item, right? Like, he definitely had to have put word in on this. I love the art for it as well. The red and blue. It looks so good, man. All right, next up after our new amulet. Ooh, this looks dangerous, actually. It looks really... This looks dangerous. The Elementalist Staff. Only a true master of the elements could learn how to set ice on fire. Increase magic attack by 25%. Skills have a 5% chance to inflict freeze or burn. Freeze bonus has a cooldown of 2 seconds. Ooh, I see. So it has Arson and Absolute Zero. This is designed for duality. This would be pretty good for both Alchemist as well as obviously Frost Skull. Would do pretty good on any good Arson build and any good Absolute Zero build. But the fact that it has a chance to inflict both freeze and burn, and skills having that chance, I think it would do very well on Alchemist because of his skill spam. Well, I mean, yes, Frost has good skill spam too. Just have a good skill build, right? With some Arson and some Absolute Zero so that you can spam skills faster. And this would be very, very powerful. Is this a kunai with chain? Poisoned rope dart. Okay, I was about to say kunai with chain. In skilled hands, this kunai brings death as swiftly as a scorpion sting. Alright, dude, alright. I see what you've done. You've even capitalized the word scorpion. Get over here. Increase physical attack by 25% and skills have a chance to inflict poison or wound. It's the inverse of the Elementalist Staff. So we have the magic version and we have the physical version for poison and bleeding. I love this already. The idea of making your opponent be poisoned and bleeding at the same time is such a cool bit of flavor, with skills having a chance to inflict both. This is good for almost everyone. I would say Werewolf with his Beast Sleep would have a pretty good chance of applying all of it because of his innate access to bleeding and also being very good with poison, with a crit build with the poison needle, the syringe. Oh, dude, you could get some insane double poison bleed stuff going on with this, with Werewolf. That'd be really cool. Moving on. What is that, a snake? Claw? It's a claw. Claws of the Raptor. Oh, I can see now. I'm silly. With the background there, it helps. No one has ever seen the monster that possessed such powerful claws and survived to tell the story. Amplifies quint damage by 30% and crit damage by 15%. Heritage and Misfortune. This is actually amazing because Heritage now only requires 1 to get the cooldown speed effect. This is like a double in one. I mean, it automatically is helping with cooldown speed and quint damage. And honestly, effects that boost quintessence damage are kind of rare in this game. There aren't many at all. They're very, very hard to come by. Mostly on the Heritage upgrade right here that helps boost these. the 3 stack of heritage damage dealt being amplified by 25% for 3 seconds after you use your quintessence. This very well could be one of those very, very cool items that gets to double dip into a damage upgrade, so the quintessence hits for extra hard. Very, very cool. I like it. Very fun to mess with. That looks like we're done with the rares. We get to move on and find the uniques. All right, first up on the new uniques, we have, oh my goodness, is this Talaria of Mercury? Oh, wow. Have we got some Hermes shoes over here? Mortals could never achieve Hermes speed. The key to his swiftness was his winged sandals. There you go. Grants 1 extra dash. That's busted. Movement speed by 50%. Is this like a reference to the old wings? Is this Sylphid Wings 2.0 getting its return? That's amazing. So I'm zooming, dude. I'm zooming just by having them. And we have triple dash. I am very, 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 very curious immediately. This would mean that Ninja gets access to 4 dashes now. Is that correct? Am I? Oh my god. This would also be something that benefits the Gargoyle, as Gargoyle has multi-directional dashes and can go in different directions. He can even go diagonal. So now that he has an extra dash, he can kind of stay airborne for a lot longer. I'm very curious. I'm going to grab a bunch of these and see if, yep, the speed effect stacks. Does the dash effect stack? It sure does. All right, next up after Hermes sandals, is this a scythe? I love this design. I love the swirly magic around it. The soul extractor. 1 soul is the source of their most desirable possessions. Upon killing an adventurer, this item disappears and that adventurer's legendary item is dropped. Very powerful. I've actually been told a little bit about this item existing. I didn't know it was this, but that is actually insane. So you can guarantee hunt for a particular legendary. If you want the Bible from the priest girl, go for it. If you'd like the crown from the sword boy, ooh, go for it. The armor from the paladin guy, or even Ninja's double swords, one of the most powerful. I mean, they're all powerful, but his is kind of special powerful. Or if you're going for that dummy crit damage build, the archer girl has a very, very good one. I think maybe the sorceress girl has the legendary that's the least like busted. It's very good. They're all very good. Don't get me wrong. They're all very good. But I think hers is the least abusable, maybe. Unless you're, doing a skull run with 9 of them. This is incredibly powerful, though. That's a very good item. Next up, we have the Symbol of Confidence. I like it. The blistering confidence brought by a strong defense makes the most powerful warriors. What a shield. Increase physical and magical attack by up to 100%, equal to your current life percent. So if you're at 100% life, you get 100% damage effects. If you're low on life, say, 50, 30%, then this effect goes down. It wants you to be high on life. Yeah, no, we'll go with that. It wants you to be high on life, which would be very, very good for Shield Skull with all of his absorbing barriers, with all of his little bubble effects. So the more damage you block and that you can stave off, the longer you get to keep this high damaging effect. Or maybe even you want to play a little bit of a teetering scale kind of power and have Ghoul use this, where the more he gets hurt, the weaker he becomes. But upon consuming his tummy full of meat, upon digesting and getting all of his life back and sending out the fart cloud, his life goes back up to hopefully full, and then the fart cloud gets the benefit of all of this extra damage on top of it. Comes with Antique and Fortress. Perfect. I love it. What a great defensive item. We need more. There's not nearly enough defensive items that have the effect of boosting your offense from a good defense. I like it. Oh, that looks like the end of the uniques. We get to move on to the legendaries. All right, flicking up one, we have it right here. We have Orc King's Trusty Club. I am aware of this one. This one is very, very cool. So, the weapon of the strongest orc. Once plated in gold, but he could never maintain it. His brute strength would shatter it. Increases physical attack by 100%. You can no longer deal magic damage, and it comes with double courage. All right, this is the physical legendary boy item. I think, if memory serves, the conversation was a little while ago. I think this was Haxa's choice item. This was the one that he really wanted to have made. And I can see why. It's just such a fantastic looking item. and the art, the assets for it, everything looks good. I do like, I'm a fan, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a fan of games where you have items that fit the box that they're meant to be in, and then you have these really powerful, overpowered, legendary style items that break the mold. They're too big and bulky and powerful. Not even the interface can contain them. It's such a stupid trope, but I love it. It adds that emphasis of how good it is, you know? This is ridiculous, obviously, for physical builds. It's incredibly powerful, incredibly strong, and if you find it on your physical build, go for it. I would even argue that you should take Sin just to enable this, if you could. It's double courage, dude. What's not to love? Next up, we have the Raven Lord's Medallion. I figured this would be the case. This is the inverse of it. Able to control his army of Raven souls, the Raven Lord has never faced a physical confrontation for the rest of his life. Very true, actually. It's a very cool little flavor text. I like it. I love the effort they've gone into with all of this. It's like you've got the Orc King, you've got the Raven Lord. They're maintaining. I know the lore of the game and all the extra, like, you know, Swanezio, the Raven Lord, and all of the extra outside the main story stuff is all very up for interpretation to a lot of degrees. Things like the spirits, the fairy tale items, there's a little bit of a story there. But I love that they're keeping these items kind of in line with it and kind of making up their own solutions as to how these items exist. It's very cool. But this one increases your magical attack and prevents you doing physical damage with double wisdom. This is insane. These two items alone, ridiculous. Don't have both of them. I'm actually curious. Give me a moment. Okay, so we're going out here. Now, I have both of these. I've gotten rid of the other items to not cause any potential weird interactions, but we're no longer dealing physical or magical damage. So does that mean I just don't do damage? This is silly. I love it though. I mean, there's your detriment. Don't do it, dude. We can't hurt anything. That's funny. That's funny. I like that I do like that it does this, to be honest. I do like that it actually does that. All right, next up after our Raven's Medallion. Ooh, wait a minute. I think this might be a very special one. This is the Quindant of Sadism. Oh, no, there it is. This is the Quindant of Sadism. The Demon Lord Beelz becomes stronger by inflicting pain and suffering on everyone around him. Attacks and skills have a 10% plus 10% chance. That's important. Plus 10% chance to inflict any status effect from poison, wound, stun, freeze, or burn. Freeze and stun bonuses have an internal cooldown of 4 seconds. To keep it a little bit balanced, comes with Misfortune and Execute. I like that Misfortune is on this. It's just, this is my item. I was asked a little while ago by the wonderful Mr. Bacanudo if I would lend an idea for an item, and I said, you know, I really like status effects in the game, and too many of the good builds in the game do rely on raw damage. Boost your physical, boost your magic. I want more status effects to work in the game and to work very well. And I kind of threw around silly ideas like, you know, what if you had like a random effect where it was just, you know, a chance to apply whatever. And this has been whipped up and I couldn't be more happy with it. This is fantastic. My name is in the description of it, dude. That's so cool. Thank you very much for this. This is a very, very cool item. And it's the Quindant, all right? I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of me was thinking a little Nihil when I was, you know, the Nihil. Yeah. I was channeling a little bit of that good old Elden Ring goodness back when I was the Nihil spamming cheese boy in my Elden Ring playthrough. I'm looking forward to this. I don't even know who I would use. Alchemist, maybe. Anyone, really. I mean, I could do all sorts of stuff with this kind of an item. There's so much to mess around with. This specifically with Relapse, the dark ability for Relapse to have a chance to reapply effects. All right, next up after our Quindant. Ooh, this is pretty. Pandora's Box. Oh no, Pandora's Box? Stuff has happened. No! Wait, I've got to show you what Pandora's Box does. Upon pickup, replace each item with a random item of higher rarity. You gain 500 gold per item destroyed. So everything that you have on hand is broken. So as you can see, whoa, we are losing everything that we had. By simply picking up Pandora's Box, it seems like you'll always get at least one legendary. I don't need to restart. Let me just delete these. because Pandora's box itself is legendary. So if, for example, I were to have... Let me just go down here a little bit and find some other stuff. Okay, so to give you an example, we have the amulet, which is rare, and we have the Stone of Plague, which is unique. So upon picking up Pandora's box, this rare should become a unique, this unique should become a legendary, and because Pandora's box is already legendary, it'll just default and give me another legendary. Getting 500 gold per item destroyed, by the way, that alone is we're getting money for this. So, am I correct? We have a unique and 2 legendaries. You can only imagine what it would be like if you had... You know what? Let's just do it. We have the option of random select. So I'm gonna pick 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 random items randomly selected. Let me go grab all of these. We have the Common Dagger, the Prophecies of Evil Envy. We got Berserker's Gauntlet, Priestess's Veil, Blessing, Goldmane Rapier, the Cogwheel, the Teacup. Amazing that through all of this, we still didn't get any of the new items. And then we grab Pandora's box. So all of these items will upgrade 1 quality higher. I think there's only like 2 legendaries we can expect out of this, 3 including Pandora's box itself, and we get, oh my goodness, whoa, and we get money for every destroyed item. That's insane. That's insane. 4,500 gold just by picking this thing up, and now everything has rotated and gone 1 quality higher. This is an insanely cool item, and a very, very, very cool item. If you're doing a dedicated build and you've already got like a plan in mind, this is going to throw a big wrench in there. This is going to completely change it. But I'm not going to lie, the chaos, that's why it's Pandora's box, dude. The chaos of picking it up, getting a bunch of money just as a at least a little something, you know, maybe the items aren't going to be what you want, but we'll give you a bit of cash. But the idea of completely re-rolling everything, but making it high quality, so probably, you know, there's going to be some good stuff here. Now, moving on, yes, that's right, moving on, we have new omens. Yes, they've even gone out of their way to make new omen items. Wealth is the true root of all power, for greed knows no bounds. I feel like this is taken right out of my personal credo. The root of all evil? Oh, you know me too well. Increases physical attack and magical attack by 1% for each 100 gold that you have, and increases your damage by 20% for each treasure inscription you have. This is an incredibly cool item. I love the pirate aesthetic going on here with the treasure stuff. So just have lots of treasure, dude. Just have lots of treasure. You get a massive amount of damage from just having treasure, but 1% per 100 gold that you have, that's very easy to achieve. All right, next up we have the Dark Tech Marvel, which is a Manatech specific omen item, a paradoxical machine that never seems to stop running. Picking up a Manatech part amplifies skill damage by 5% for 5 seconds. Immediately, my brain goes to the Gay Beams as being a fantastic item to pair with this, because when it explodes, it drops a ton of Manatech parts. And so we're going to do exactly that. With 2 of the beams, we now have 3 Manatech. We're going to get extra parts. Let me do a swap. Summon the beams. They're then going to explode and send parts everywhere. And if I grab all... Oh, look at that. And we can see the buff down the bottom stacking up. Having... Oh, my goodness. Just doing this alone. Oh, my man. This is incredible. Amplifying skill damage by 5% up to 50%. So 50% more skill damage amp. This easily obtainable. Just look at this. Look at this, dude. And last but certainly not least, we have the Cryptic Collectible. Now, this one is very special. I've heard a little bit about it. The heart of a true collector desires what it desires, even when it doesn't know what lies inside. This item gains 1 random inscription, that would be execute on this one. When you have 14 or more different inscriptions, transform this item. So let's take a look and see what we can... Ooh, it's insanity time. You see that? The Omen Idol of Insanity. I don't desire anything anymore. I have everything I have ever wanted. This item gains 1 random inscription, remains the same. increases the number of each inscription you have by 1. Increases collection desires inscription requirement by 1. So now, the very important thing to note here is that because it increases collection desires requirement by 1, we no longer need to have 2 in an inscription, we need 3 in an inscription. But what this is doing all on its own is giving +1 to every one that we have. So it's helping to enable a lot of these builds and give more power to them. I mean, you could have any, like, at this point, I could sell a bunch of items. If you get this early enough in a run, you can transform it and then start getting rid of things, right? And then starting to single in on particular builds and then get stuff like, imagine just having a fairy tale and having masterpiece and all these different effects that you could have boosted by having an extra one of the inscriptions in there. You could have extra revenge, you could have extra bleeding, you could get breakthrough points for things like, as you could see, execute and strike. It's very, very powerful on its own, and you only need one other item to have those inscriptions to get to the 2-stack breakpoints. Bleeding. I've got the 1 dagger. Doesn't matter. I'm going to get the 60% amp to bleed just by having this on its own. Another massive thank you goes out to Mr. Bacanudo and Haxa for all of the hard work that they have done in creating this mod. I will have links to their channels in the description down below, so be sure to go and check them out and share the love. This is no easy thing that they have done, but they've done it anyway. I've decided to break this one up so I don't end up with one really, really long super duper video, but do not worry, the run will be coming out very soon where I get to try out my item and see what kind of nonsense I can get up to. But with all of that said and done, I've got to get out of here. I hope you guys have enjoyed checking out the new items with me, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one.